One of the biggest reasons I believe every company should be creating long form YouTube videos is because of the insane repurposing capabilities. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can dramatically compound your video efforts and turn one YouTube video into an entire week's worth of content. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Bailey Canning. I'm an independent full stack marketing strategist living in Denver, Colorado, working with my clients on brand strategy engagements, web design and development projects, and ongoing marketing retainers. The first and most obvious way to begin repurposing this YouTube video content is going to be to add it to the blog section of your website. What I recommend you do is that every single blog post, you embed the YouTube video at the top of the page. That way people can watch the YouTube video directly on your website. This is going to be better because you don't want to necessarily send them to YouTube where they're going to be able to get distracted by some of the best content online. Instead, you want to keep them on your website, and by embedding the YouTube video directly on the blog post, that's going to be a great way to do it. However, I'm not recommending you simply embed the video and call it a day. Rather, what I would do is take the transcript of the video and upload it to an AI LLM like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, and use that to create a detailed 1,000 to 2,000 word blog post summary. This is going to be key because it's going to allow you to drive more organic traffic from Google. And also, as time goes on and people adopt these LLMs more as a search tool, this is going to allow your content to get found directly in these chatbots. Second thing I recommend you do is going to be to create an email newsletter from your YouTube videos. So you should already be building an email list as part of your content marketing efforts. I've done videos on the past in the best way to do that. That's going to be to create a lead magnet. So you have a downloadable offer that people must leave their email address in order to access. But as time goes on and you actually build up an email list, I highly recommend you treat that as a distribution channel. And ideally, you want to be sending out highly valuable content to that email list at least once per week. And if you're making at least one YouTube video per week, then that is going to be a great time to send that out to the list. And that way, the people who are most engaged with your business are always going to get it directly in their email inbox. And you don't need to be reliant on the algorithms of Meta or Google in order to get your content found and seen by these prospects. The strategy here is simply to take that transcript and use an AI tool to write up an email newsletter. I highly recommend you use Claude. I find that to be much better for copywriting than ChatGPT, even with ChatGPT 5.0. There's just still so many giveaways that something is written by ChatGPT, whereas I find Claude to just sound much more human-like. I highly recommend, though, you have a large content library to feed it past examples. That way it can mimic your company's tone and style of writing. The email newsletter should have a broader story about the piece of content and why it's relevant to your prospective clients. And then you want to include a CTA at the bottom of that post. That way people can schedule a direct consultation with you or whatever the first step of your sales process is directly in that email. This is exactly what I'm already doing for my clients. We're taking these long form YouTube videos and we're turning them into email newsletters. And this is allowing us to consistently nurture our prospects, and it's resulting in higher sales conversion rates over the long run. Perhaps the most powerful way to repurpose your YouTube videos is by using an AI tool like Opus Clip, for example, which I am using myself for my own business. I made a video on that as well in the past. Opus Clip is unbelievable because it's going to allow you to take your long form YouTube video and automatically create anywhere between 5 to 15 clips, depending on the length of the video. And this way, you're gonna be able to start posting basically daily on any of the other social media channels you wanna focus on, whether that be Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course, even the shorts component on YouTube. If you are not creating short form content automatically with a tool like Opus Clip from your long form YouTube videos, quite honestly, I don't know what you're doing. Short form content is not a fad, it's here to stay. The algorithm pushes it, I would argue, even more than the long form content today. And it's just going to allow you to, one, reach a brand new audience that is not engaging with your long form content, And it's going to allow you to stay top of mind with people who are already subscribed to you on those platforms. So it is really just a no-brainer. And if you're using a tool like Opus Clip, you could schedule out an entire quarter of social media content to post daily in just a couple hours of work at the start of the quarter, which is exactly what I've done for my own business. So highly recommend you get on the short form content bandwagon. If you haven't, it's a massive opportunity you're leaving on the table. This is one way to repurpose your YouTube video content, which I don't see many people online talking about. As you go through your CRM, which you should probably be doing each week to follow up with your prospective clients and move them to each stage of your sales process accordingly, what I would recommend you do is once you start to build out a solid content library, instead of doing the generic low value follow-up of, hey, hope all is well, just checking in, wanted to see if you had any thoughts on this. That's terrible. Do not do that. That's what every other sales rep and business owner is doing. Once you actually have some valuable video content, use that as a tool to nurture your prospective clients. Send them video content that's going to be relevant to their company and the situation they find themselves in. And then this way you can provide value and lead up front. And then you don't even need to ask them, would you like to book a call? Do you have any thoughts on this? What are the best next steps to move forward? You're in the driver's seat and you're gonna be providing value, and that's gonna be the best way to actually stand out over the course of a long sales cycle. The next thing we must mention is the fact that you can literally turn all your YouTube videos into a podcast feed. And this way you're gonna be able to reach people who prefer to consume content on the go, whether they're driving, walking, doing the dishes. Now, not every YouTube creator is going to be able to take advantage of this. You're really only going to be able to repurpose the content into a podcast feed if it's very talking head style driven and there's not a lot of cinematic effects or B-roll. For example, the video I'm making right here, that would work fine as a podcast, but for more of my vlog style videos, that would not work as a podcast. But honestly, this is a no-brainer as well if you're looking to expand your reach. Many of the biggest creators on YouTube or even marketing people like Gary Vaynerchuk, they're already repurposing all their content into a podcast feed. If you're looking to expand the reach of your video content and you want to reach a new audience who maybe they're not on YouTube, but they're on Spotify and they're big podcast fans, this might be another avenue you look to explore. Finally, this is a very simple one that goes without saying, but you'd be surprised how many creators still aren't taking advantage of this. Every single YouTube video you create can also be a standalone social media post. So that can go on the YouTube community section, which I highly recommend you take advantage of, as well as any of the social media platforms your company is active on. This can take many different forms. You could simply post a thumbnail and link to the video in the comments, or you can make it a video post and perhaps just include the first 30 to 60 seconds or so. Regardless though, what you need to start to internalize is the fact that you need to have various different touch points with your prospective clients. It's not that they're gonna see one video and book a consultation. They might need to see 40 or 50 pieces of content, whether that be through your email newsletter, the podcast feed, the long form videos, the short form videos, literally every single thing I've mentioned on today's video. And that's why it's so important to be splintering your content like this in the first place, because it might take 50 or so touch points to book that initial sales meeting. And if you're only putting out one YouTube video per week, that's gonna take people at least 1 to 2 years, quite honestly, to move through. Whereas if you follow this strategy, you're gonna be able to get those touch points done in like under a month, quite frankly. So it's a no-brainer. You really need to be splintering your content in the way I've outlined in this video. And if you're looking for help on how to do that, then you know what to do. Book a strategy call with myself. Check out the form in the description of this video. And if you're a good fit, I'll be able to help you out. If you've got any questions or comments, leave a comment and I'll get back to you when I have the chance. Otherwise, thank you again for watching. I do appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.